Last time out, we won the Coupe de France against Nice to secure our second trophy of the season and to complete a cup double in Season 2. We may have failed to get Champions League football in the league, but we got Champions League football because we won the Europa League. Is this Lyonnais successfully rescued, or have I failed because I didn't win Ligue 1? I want you to tell me down in the comments down below, as we're going to review this season as a whole. So for whatever reason, we can't get a season review. I don't know what I've done, I don't know what I've broken, but we know that it's not going to work these days. What I do know is we've got another 1.6 million social media followers after our triumph in both domestic cups and European cups. Most of those have become fair weather fans, up to 17%, and given that they are impatient for success, they're not exactly people I want to be getting more of, quite frankly. Though we are expected by the supporters to develop players using the youth system, play attacking football, finish above St Etienne in the league, and finish above Marseille in the league as well. The board, I like to think, are a bit more realistic, though they want me to be competitive in the Champions League and qualify for the Champions League through the league. Given that we've not done that in the first 2 seasons, that would have been a bit of a challenge if I was going to continue to save for another year. There's nothing about the cup, but quite frankly, we've got Champions League football next year. I think this is a successful season. Now we tell the players we want to get Champions League football next year. They're happy with that, and I'm delighted by the case. I think I just told them that. I don't know. I don't know why. What did I promise? I did something about the Champions League. I must have said something correctly about the Champions League, because I actually don't remember what I said. Or I didn't read it properly. That's slightly awkward. Though apparently, if we look at the squad team we bought here, our current squad of players compares well to the other teams in the Ligue 1, and we're slightly above average in the Champions League. That's a promising sign if we were going to do another year, but we did just win the Europa League, so that is probably not surprising now I think about that out loud. I've gotten so used to that message being, you are one of the weakest teams in the Champions League in my Mode to Lublin save last year, so that was fun. But if we look at the injury list, 2 of our players missed about 30% or more of the season. Anthony Lopez had a horrible season, breaking his ankle and doing his hip in as well. Well, Emil Hone just did critical ligaments in just one injury, which took him out for pretty much the majority of the season. Nipan, I don't remember actually having an injury with us. Was it with us? I don't think it was with us, right? No, he had it before he joined us, so that was an injury he had before he turned up. He tore his back muscle doing weightlifting. Okay, at least it wasn't with us, I suppose. But if we look at this list, most of these players are not in the first team, and most of these players didn't miss more than 20% of the season anyway. Alberto Meno, probably the surprising one. I didn't realize he missed that many and had that many injuries. But he's also wanted by a Saudi team, looks like. Is that a Saudi team? It is a Saudi team. Okay. If we were to look at the promises and targets, only one of our players really made an inroad to it, and even then, Denik actually failed it, so everyone else was disappointed. And mind you, Ketcher wasn't really getting the first team afterwards, but he did play 48 games, so it's not like he didn't have chances. And also, my goalkeeper I sent out on loan to Basel did not reach it either. That's surprising, even if he played 11 times. And my other goalkeeper, who was meant to do well in training, never got to the 9.0 rating. Mind you, I could have potentially praised him for getting an 8.0 rating or more, but I chose not to because I wasn't going to be around for much longer. Thankfully, we had no promises. The Under-20s World Cup is currently happening. We've got 3 players who just took part of a team that lost to Germany, which I think knocked them out. Yeah, they got knocked in the second round. That's awkward. And Nigeria just won 10-0 against Saudi Arabia's Under-20s. Well, that's slightly awkward indeed. At least Mohamed Niger's doing well in development-wise and could honestly be in my first team plans long-term if I was to stick around. He actually gets a Coupe de France trophy because he played in the Cup once. I forgot he actually played the game for us in the Cup. Is that awkward that I forgot? But if you look at the state of him, he is going to be an absolute superstar for us long term if I was to be sticking around long term. I think we could definitely make him a centre-back as well. He looks like a centre-back to me, and I can't really be persuaded otherwise. Also, Kakarek wants a new contract. He's got 2 years left in his current deal. I'm actually going to give him this contract because I genuinely believe he has been so good for us. Even if the average ratings don't say it, he feels like a player that has been very useful and is a league-earned player. So it'll feel like a mistake to not give him a new contract. And also, he's my starting DM. He kind of stands out in that role, really. Can I lower your demands? That's good. He's lowered it by at least 13,000 and 14,000. That's good. Yeah, I can do that. Let's go with this. Important player. Don't want to give you that role, but I would give you the promise. Actually, do I need to give you the promise? Let's not do the promise. Yeah, he's fine with that. And 73 grand. He's currently on 55 grand. That's not a lot of an increase, really, so I can go with that. Also, we just found out that Real Madrid won the Champions League because we got the £1.7 million as a result of them winning the Champions League for the Fulham Mendy deal. So I might as well go over all the winners of European football. The Europa Conference League was won by Newcastle. They beat Lazio 2-1 in the final. We beat Atalanta 2-1 in the Europa League final, so we know who's won that. And as told by the fact we got £1.7 million for the Fulham Mendy deal, Real Madrid beat Liverpool 2-0 in the Champions League final. And given we didn't fail the financial fair play, that's a good sign. We did get a tax bill of £11 million for getting a profit of £32.89 million. And we've now got a new stadium sponsor. We're making a lot of money. I like money. It's happy times. Also, Lee came in, brought a load of money in. I should probably sign him permanently. Yeah, we've now got 81.1 million. It's a bit less than what we had at the beginning of the year. Mind you, we had about £94 million this stage last year, but I don't think it's the end of the world. And given we're now making £6 million per year through stadium sponsorship, that's a good sign. So looking at this, we are now making 21 million. We've lost about 23 million in that. That's slightly awkward. That explains why we haven't got as much money this year. Also, Troyes have just beat Metz to get promoted back to Ligue 1. Yeah, this is the season review now. We're not going to get anything out of this, but it's nice to know that they are very happy with our season if the confetti is falling anything to go by. Yeah, we managed to score the most goals from set pieces in Ligue 1 this year. So, apparently we suffered a disappointing campaign, but it was still unforgettable because we won 2 trophies. That's very contradictory, okay? I'm not a fan of that. We did also just pay out £1.8 million for finishing in 6th place. So overall, Lopez is still top. He's only played 31 times, I just realised. Wow, I didn't realise how badly his injuries have hit him in the last 2 years, that he's only played 31 times. And that the goalkeeper I got in January is only 7 games away from matching him. That's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? And if you look at some of the players we brought in, some players we brought in January, most of them have already gotten close or are matching Lopez's record of appearances. How bad has he been hit by injuries? But yeah, Lee came in, really impressed with this season. And Ernst was our best goalkeeper. And the fact that Pantelet, who was sent out on loan to Basel, got onto the bench ahead of Lopez really tells you just how badly the injuries hit him. And Alberto Moreno did get 2nd place. We sold Tagliafico, so that's why Tagliafico is not here. But if you look at the season for Best 11 this year, I think we've done ourselves justice, to say the least. Denelik, Grandegar, Saleh, Moreno, Kakuet, Basic, Kechta, Borges, Cherky, Yuri Alberto. Nipan's on the bench, mostly because he only signed partway through the season. But if he was here for the entire year, then Ketcher probably would not be starting in this season. But Diamandi, Parisi, Kangin Lee, Nipan, Lebanon, and Avena all on the bench. In fact, Avena and Yuri Alberto have both scored 26 goals over the last 2 years, so that's a good sign. And the fact that Alberto did that in 1 year is very impressive. So I should probably go over the stats we got for this year. And if we look at the top goal scorers, Yuri Alberto got 27 goals. He was by far and away the best goal scorer in all competitions. But Gonzalo Borges was second place and only 1 goal ahead of Lee Kang-in and 2 goals ahead of Ivana, who was still good for goals, even though he only started 9 times. And Ryan Cherokee still got 10 goals and 9 assists this year. Kang-in Lee was really useful with the fact he got 11 assists as well. But if we look further down the list of goal scorers throughout the season, Kalanta Carr did get 8 goals. And most of those came from set pieces. Nipan and Bassis both got 6 goals each. And then we go further down and see that Soleil got 3 goals and 3 assists as well. And it's a quite diverse list of players who got goals. But if we go to assists, Bassis and Ketchner were top 2 for the assists. And that is despite the fact that Ketchner did lose his place in the first team at January. Well, Kang-in Lee, despite only starting 27 times, got 3rd place and was really good for the goals. So we weren't terrible. And in fact, we were actually quite good for goals. But we got a lot of assists because of set pieces, because Basic was a corner kick taker and free kick taker at times. So clearly they worked. And I want to see, because I got told we got the most goals from set pieces, how we compared to everyone else in the league. Also, look at the state of this. PSG had a goals expected for of 106.23. We actually got second with 72.99, and we actually underperformed that. So that's interesting. PSG overperformed it with 122 goals in 34 matches. They are ridiculous. And the non-penalty goals was 98. 98. We had 7 penalties this year and actually scored 6 of them. So we only missed 1 penalty in the entire season in the end. Goals from corners. We scored 12 goals from corners. I think it's safe to say set pieces are very important for your goals this year. We scored 70 goals and got 12 corner goals. Added to the fact we got 6 penalties as well, that's already looking like 18 goals from set pieces in that regards. We got a goal from a direct free kick as well, so 19 there. And then we add another 5 goals from indirect free kicks. That's 24 goals from penalties, corners, and free kicks. No wonder we're very dangerous in set pieces this year. Good lord. 24 goals out of 70 were from set pieces in some way, shape, or form. And that's not even considering the throw-ins either. I don't think we really scored anything from throw-ins, but that's fine. We were top of the high-intensity sprints as well, though. So clearly we did okay. But we did only lose possession the 3rd least, which is actually very good. But then you realise how spread out everything is not actually spread out as I thought it was. So we got something good. And we only just missed out on the most final third passes for by 6. That's how good our formation is and how good our tactic is if we were to get going. When PSG, who would, as incredible as they were this year, only have 6 more, that's great. But we weren't very good defensively. And in fact, I think we may have conceded more goals than our XG. We were the 6th best defense. We actually, we massively over conceded by about 9 goals here because our XG against was only 33.05. So if we look at the XG table, we were definitely failing ourselves. And not because of goals, because we scored just 2 less goals. It was our defense letting us down because we conceded 8 more goals than we should have done in the entirety of the season. And it dropped to 6 points. So if we had stood out our defense, we would have been a lot better. It wasn't as bad as Monaco, who conceded 13 more goals than they should have done. But despite our failures in the league, we can be proud of what we've achieved this year in Ligue 1. And this will be the last video of the Rescuing Lyon series, because we're going to be focusing on the main save that starts on Monday. So what I'm going to be doing is ending this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video and that you're subscribed to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.